Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about Aladdin. We had the new movie come out this weekend. I really enjoyed it. You can go and check out my review for it. But I want to theorize on an idea. Could we get the Return of Jafar, an adaptation of, maybe not a direct adaptation, but another version of it more suited for a theatrical experience. I really thought Aladdin was great, and the movie ended. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Aladdin, although if you've seen the animated version, you probably are expecting a similar ending. Jafar does survive at the end. He gets trapped in the lamp because he wishes to be something all and powerful. Actually, that was a little thing that they improved from the original, is that in the original animated version, Jafar wishes to be an all-powerful genie, but I guess he forgot that when you become a genie, you get a lamp and get trapped in there for all eternity until someone wishes you free. If someone is that generous, anyways. So a little twist happens in the live-action version where he wishes that he could be the most powerful. He wishes to be an all-powerful being. He doesn't specifically say genie. And genie, there was this little callback earlier to the film where that if you don't say specifically what you're wishing for, the genie can alter your wish by making you, giving you something else that's more in line with what you just wished for. And he also says early on in the film that the genie, as far as he's concerned, is the most powerful being in the universe. So Jafar becomes a genie at the end, being tricked by Aladdin, which was a better way of delivering that part of it. And obviously, he takes Iago down with him into the lamp. So just like in the animated movie. So could we get a Return of Jafar in the vein of the animated Return of Jafar film? Not quite, because there are some differences at the end of this Aladdin that forces them that they're going to have to change it. The biggest one being Iago. Let's start with there's two big things. Iago is the first one I want to talk about. In the animated Return of Jafar, Iago has a little bit more brains. And that's not to say that this Iago was stupid or anything. He clearly was a little conniving, but he doesn't have full-out conversations in the same way he does in the animated film where he was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. He actually doesn't have much of a personality, so I don't know if you can really give him a similar arc the way the animated version does. So he might have to just play as a real parrot, and Jafar might have to use other tactics on trying to get revenge on Aladdin. I think you can introduce the character of Abismal from the animated film, that little short guy voiced by Jason Alexander. I think you can get a similar character to him, but you're going to have to find a way to, if you want to follow in those footsteps, or you're going to have to completely change the plot of what the Return of Jafar actually was, because Iago was such a central part in that animated movie. You might not be able to do it with this version of Iago, unfortunately. Now, maybe you can. Who knows? Now, another big thing that's they're going to have to figure out is the genie, because at the end of this movie, of this new Aladdin film, the genie, just like in the original animated film, is wished free, loses the cuffs. But unlike that version, the genie in this film is no longer blue. He loses his blue look, probably forever, and he just becomes human form, which he alternates here and there throughout the course of the film, but it looks like that's his human form. And he does say a line specifically that he wants to be human, not just free, he wants to be human. And that made me wonder, because they didn't give a hint at it at the end of this film. Does Genie still have his powers? They could show that in a sequel, that maybe the Genie still has a little bit of his powers, but not as strong as it once was. That's how the Return of Jafar animated film explained it, that he still had his powers. But we kind of already knew that because the original Aladdin showed that he still had magic. They weren't as powerful as they once were when he was the genie. Could they do something like that, or do they just drop the magic aspect completely? I think you would still have to bring Will Smith back no matter what, because as much as the story should always focus on Aladdin and Jasmine, the genie has always been an integral part to the story of Aladdin as well. And let's face it, just like how the original animated film, the story in the movie really relied on Robin Williams' humor. I think this film also relied on Will Smith's humor as well, his charisma and humor, also to really carry the film. And that's not to shit on Mina Masood and Naomi Scott, who are really great in this movie. I just think you do need the genie there because it also has to do with the relationship between Genie and Aladdin. So I don't know. There's a lot of room to cover there for a lot of ideas for the producers going forward. If they want to do an Aladdin sequel and do the Return of Jafar as their second film, I think they are going to really have to put a lot of thought into it. Of what are they going to change moving forward? What are they going to bring back? If I were them, I would bring the genie back. Not maybe with full powers, but like I said, maybe with, not as strong as he used to be, because he's no longer an actual genie. I don't know. There has to be a way around it. And out of all these Disney movies getting sequels right now, Alice Through the Looking Glass and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, out of all these sequels, Aladdin is the one that actually was made to do sequels for. Because the stories of Aladdin, you can go more deeper into it and have him and Jasmine go on many more adventures together. After all, she wants to see the world, right? So what else is out there? What kind of situations can they run into together if they really want to go see the world? That's something you can have Disney can actually have a franchise easily ready for them. And The Return of Jafar can be that first step on opening the doors to a franchise here. And I would like a trilogy of Aladdin, personally. I would even get Aladdin and the King of Thieves, the second direct-to-video sequel they made, as the third movie to wrap it all up, because they actually do, in the movie, this new film, they actually do reference Aladdin's parents. He doesn't go deep into them. He kind of states that his mother, I think, passed away, and the father, he just says is gone, So he doesn't really go into detail what gone means. That could mean he either passed away, or maybe, just like in the animated film, Aladdin and the King of Thieves, maybe he ran off a long time ago and never came back. And maybe he can find out that his father is now the leader of the 40 Thieves, just like that animated film. And look, I know those animated direct-to-videos weren't that strong, but they could be blueprints on what Disney could do with sequels moving forward, and definitely easily improve upon them, and maybe even write some better songs that those direct-to-videos had, because yeah, they're not Oscar-worthy songs. They're not as memorable as the original theatrical version of Aladdin. So you can do something completely different, or you can stick somewhat true to what those films were to just improve upon them. And believe me, at this point, it's easy to improve upon those. So I don't know, guys. Tell me your thoughts on these Aladdin sequels. Do you want to see a sequel to Aladdin? Do you want to see Return of Jafar first? Do you think they should complete the trilogy with Aladdin and the King of Thieves? Or do you think they should go somewhere completely different and do something different for their third film? Return of Jafar is a must. I mean, come on. I thought Jafar was really good in this movie, this new Aladdin film. He wasn't as good as the animated version, but it's apples and oranges, and you're going to have to try to do something different. Jafar in the animated version was more theatrical. This one was more of a more level-headed Jafar. That wasn't too over the top. He fit the film that this movie was. He fit a film that wouldn't make it cheesy, I guess. So with that being said, comment below and tell me your thoughts. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and until next time, take care.